It's really an honor and a privilege for us to come into God's presence as God's children. So, few minutes I would like to share few thoughts which will help our spiritual lives. Okay. As Christians, we have some period where we feel like we miss God. Everyone have that feel or thought that we have lost the Lord somewhere. And that is the time we try to search God more and more. There are seasons. If you are a true Christian, if you are really born again, if you have the passion for the Lord, your heart seeks Him and searches Him to find Him where He is. In the Bible, we read many scenarios where people sought God with all their heart, just wanted to see Him, just wanted to know Him, just wanted to experience His power. Let me start with negative and go to the positive. Negatively, we can start whenever we have. The first thing is when we have doubt. We want to prove whether God is there or not. Sometimes we pray, God, if you are really God, do this. God, if you are really there, help me. It's a negative approach or where we question the very existence of God. Whether He is there or am I following a religion which is man-made? That is the very argument of the atheists. They say it is a kind of concepts which you have prepared to ease your conscience or to make yourself comfortable thinking that there is somebody, God, sitting and He is taking care of you. And it is not strange. Each one of us at any one point of our life we would have thought, is there really God? Is there really a person who is looking? If there is really God, why so many problems are running in my life? Why He is not caring? Why many of my prayers are not answered? We have number of questions. And there was such a person in the Bible also who really wanted to know the very existence. And it is very surprising. He was not a person who didn't see. He saw. Even after seeing, he doubted. You know that we hear that proverb, doubting Thomas. Everyone say, don't be a doubting Thomas. So Thomas had a great doubt in his life. Not about the existence of Jesus, but about the resurrection of Jesus. Whether He really rose back and came to life. And he told, when all other 11 disciples or 10 disciples saw Jesus Christ coming to life, only Thomas didn't see Him. Probably Thomas, the theologians and the Bible scholars say, he was traveling some other place. He was not there when these things happened. He was somewhere around. And he came back and he heard the experience, how Mary Magdalene said, I saw the Lord. How Peter said, we saw the Lord. How all the other disciples were happy saying, we all saw the Lord. And he said, no, I cannot believe it. If I only see Him, if I only put my hands into His side. It is said in Gospel of John, I'll read these verses for you. But Thomas, it is starting from verses 20th chapter, 24th verse. Gospel of John, 20th chapter, 24th verse onwards. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. He was not there when Jesus was resurrected. The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I see in His hands the print of the nails. I want the very evidence. I want to see Jesus who took the nails. I know Jesus only who took the nails on the cross. I want to put my hand there. I see He's the very hands of the prints of the nail and put my finger. I want to put my finger. See, He's being very, very specific like us. We want every detail. We don't get convinced. Okay, we have so many doubts we want to get rid of. And Thomas is just like us, and he was saying like, I don't want to see the wounds of Jesus. I want to put my finger into the holes and touch and see whether it is the same Jesus whom you have seen. And thrust my hand into his side. He knew that Jesus got a spear thirst to open to see whether he was dead or not. I was reading one book written by Lee Strobel. He was an atheist journalist. His wife became a Christian and he wanted to use his profession to see whether Jesus really died and rose back. He wrote a book called The Case for the Easter, Lee Strobel. In the book he was writing, he went to the famous doctor who was verifying death. He was very specialist in legally confirming the death and what kind of death it is. And the doctor explained it like this. Whenever somebody is crucified to the cross, both joints, all the joints come out of the sockets. And you all know that Jesus was not crucified in his palm, it is into his joint, into the wrist joint. Because there is one prophecy saying, none of his bones will be broken in Old Testament. Not even one bone of the Messiah should be broken. That is the promise. And once, it is a very excruciating pain. We say there is a word called excruciating. The excruciating pain, the word itself comes from the cross. Unexplainable. Nobody can explain it. And the doctor said, that pain is like, once if it is done like this, they will not be able to breathe. They have problem with breathing. So every time this person who is on the cross to breathe, he should pull his whole body up. And whenever he pulls his body up, his legs start tearing, the muscles start, the nails in the leg, it will start rubbing. And he need to come down to breathe out. Next breath, he need to pull up, pull down. And the back, which was already beaten, will be scratching over that rugged cross. And he said Jesus went into hypovolemic shock where a lot of blood is lost and he had no blood. So there is a covering in the heart. The blood got covered and it got collected into his lungs and in his heart on the outer layer. When they thrust, they saw the blood and water coming down. But according to medical science, the fluid should come out and the blood should come second. So the doctor said that in the Greek, they were not worried about which should come first and second, which is main. He was mentioning blood is the main thing. So John was mentioning blood and water gushed out. So Jesus really died and he said, I want to put my hand into that place. And he said, I will and thrust my hand into his side. I will not believe. And after 8 days, again his disciples were with him and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst of them and said, peace be unto you. Then said Thomas, then he said unto Thomas, Jesus said unto Thomas, reach hither thy finger. He heard the whole conversation, what was going on. See, he is invisible. Even today, as we are praying, as we are discussing, there is another person sitting, that is Jesus Christ. He said, 2 or 3 gather, I will be there. We may not be able to see, but he is seeing us. He is listening to our conversations, even to our thoughts, what we are thinking about him. So he said, reach your finger. Then Thomas could have been surprised. How do you know that I said I should put my finger? And behold my hands. Reach hither thy hand, thrust into my side. Put your hand, come on, Thomas. Come on, put and check. Be not faithless, but believe. So there is a rebuke. He was telling, don't doubt, but believe. And Thomas answered and said, my Lord and my God. He knelt and answered. Jesus said, Thomas, because you have seen, you believe. Blessed are they who have not seen yet believe. So this is the first time when we search God, whenever we have doubt. So many people search God when they have doubt. They want to see whether it is real, whether it is true or not. In that way, many became children of God. That is the first point I want to say. Second, when problems come into our lives, when diseases catch us, calamities happens, when we lose our loved ones, when we don't get any blessings, we get problem upon problem in life. Like Job. Then we say, where can I find God? Job was a righteous man. He was a prayerful man. He was more righteous than anybody in that land, in that country. But there came a day in Job's life. He lost 10 children on one day. He lost his donkeys, camels, buffaloes, everything. Finally, his own body filled with boils from the top of the head to the bottom of his soul. Wife came and cursed, why do you still believe in God? Curse God and die. Just curse God and die. But Job said, when God gave the good things, we didn't say like, we need to curse. Why do we want to curse him when he gives? Let us take everything. And Job goes on talking with his friends about his experience. And his friends came and accused. They said, you don't have faith. So many times when we get problems, other Christians, other believers will come and say, you don't have faith. They will tell you, somewhere there is something wrong in your life. ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದೇವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. They will tell you have done something wrong in your life. That is the reason you got these problems. But that was not the truth. Just to miss that word, in the book of Job, there is a verse saying, where can I find God? Can you help me? Where it is? ಇಲ್ಲ, ದೇವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗ್ ನೋಡೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ಭೇಟಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ he says. Job says that. Where can I find God? And so that I can argue. Please. I want to meet God and talk to him. I saw somewhere in
Job 23.
23. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Then Job answered and said, even today is my complaint bitter. My stroke is heavier than my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him. Where can I find God? When troubles come, we turn to one question. Where is God? Can I meet him? Can I talk to him? That I might have come even to his seat. I would order my cause before him. Job is saying, just like a person, I will go and argue. What wrong have I done? Why did you punish me? Why did you allow these evil things to happen to me, God? Let me argue. Let me find justice with God. And fill my mouth with arguments. I will argue before God. We also argue when we get into problems. When we pray, we argue. ದೇವರೇ ನಾವು ಏನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು? What wrong have we done, Lord? When everyone is blessed, getting blessed, we are not blessed. Our prayers are not heard. What can we do? I would order my call before him, fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me and understand what he would say unto me. I want to listen what he wants to tell. I want to know what is the reason why I am going through this pain. So that is Job's. He wants to listen from God what he can say. Will he plead against me with his great power? No, but he would put strength in me. So he goes on talking. So second time we search God. When we go into deep troubles, we search out to God. First, when we get doubt, we see whether God is true. Second, when we go into deep troubles, we tell like God. There should be a time when you come to that point and say, I want to meet God. I want to talk to him about these problems. I want to ask him many questions. So that is the search. When you search, you will find. Third, when we are in great danger or dangerous time, when we are afraid, we call on God. We see Peter, when he was in the boat with Jesus. Jesus was sleeping and there was a big storm and waves banging through the sea. He said, Jesus, Lord, rise up, save us, we are perishing. So that is the third point where we cry to God when we are in great danger. When we don't have any other hope, we just cry to God. We break up to God. All these three are negative approach to God. In case of doubt, in case of turmoil and confusion and troubles, in case of great danger which is lying ahead, we cry and we find God. But let me show also the positive way how to find God, and then we will pray and finish it. Song of Solomon, 5th chapter. 6th verse, 7th verse, and 8th verse. I will read for you. Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verses 6, 7 and 8. This Song of Solomon is a book which is written by the great king Solomon. Song of Solomon. It was exactly a love letter which he has written to his lover, Shulamita. He was a black lady, and he said, my lover, my beloved is black, yet beautiful. So it's a romantic letter which is written. But the Jewish people have accepted it as God's word because it contains a relationship between God and his people. We love God, and we are just like that woman, and God is like that man who is the beloved. So here there is a verse, chapter 5, verse 6, 7, 8. I opened to my beloved. So he heard a knock on the door. The beloved came and knocked on the door. She opened the door, but my beloved had withdrawn himself and was gone. He just left. My soul failed when he spake. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. The watchman that went about the city found me. She was running in search of the beloved. She heard a knock on the door. She tried to open. She saw her hand. Immediately he disappeared. She went into the road. She went into the garden and roads and asked, did you see my beloved? He came. The watchmen that went about the city found me. They smote me. They saw and beat her. They wounded me. The keepers of the wall took away my veil, which she covers her face. They ripped away the veil. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that ye tell him that I am sick of love. This is the fourth way where we seek God, out of love. There is no need, there is no danger, there is no problem, yet my heart seeks God. I love him so much. A seeking of love. This should be our highest aim. The other things can happen, but when we have a beautiful life, when we have good times, when we have peaceful times, we should not forget God. We should be like this women who searches the beloved. There are times when we search God, he will not be found. Out of love, you cry for him, he will not be heard. Your searching goes on and on. We see the same thing happening to another lady in the New Testament also. Let us turn our Bible to John again, the Gospel of John. 20th chapter. No, that Mary Magdalene. Okay, 11th verse onwards. 20th chapter, 11th verse onwards, I will read for you. You can look into it. 20 chapter, 11th verse, John Gospel. But Mary stood, this is Mary Magdalene, stood without the sepulchre, the tomb, weeping. She was crying the other day. She wanted to put spices to the body of Jesus and protect it, embalm it. And she was weeping. As she wept, she stooped down. Already the stone was rolled. She stooped down, looked into the sepulchre. She looked into the tomb to find Jesus. And she saw two angels in white sitting. She was majestic people, two mighty people were sitting. The one at the head end, on the head, and the other at the feet, where Jesus was placed. They were sitting on two sides, where the body of Jesus had lain. There was no body, only the cloth mantle was there, and they were sitting there. And they said unto her, the women, she saw an angel. What would be your response if you see an angel? How thrilled we will be, how happy we will be, or we will go into fear. That is the response. Either we will be happy, or we will fall like a dead people, because their glory is so much. We read about Daniel the prophet. When he saw an angel, he fell as dead before the angels. When John the apostle saw an angel, he fell and tried to worship him. He said, don't worship me, worship only God. So angels are amazing. But this lady, who was sick of Jesus Christ, when she saw angel, there is no emotion to her. She was not afraid. She was not happy seeing an angel. But instead, she has some questions. And they said, women, why weepest thou? They asked her a question. She said unto them, she was just speaking as if she is speaking to some other human being. Because they have taken away my Lord. and I know not where they have laid him. Just like Shunammite searching for Solomon, Mary Magdalene's heart is searching for the Jesus Christ who was dead. I don't know where they have taken, where they have kept his body. Day before yesterday, we put the body here. He's just not here. What should I do now? That is the reason I'm weeping. I love him so much. I want at least his body. I want to keep it as long as it's possible. There was a story in UK, in England. A lady kept her husband's body 3 years at her home. 3 long years at her home without the knowledge of government and people. After that, she protected with so many chemicals. She protected it day and night. She used to talk to him. She used to touch him. She used to try to do everything. The beloved, she don't want to. She didn't bury. She didn't tell anyone the husband is dead. She kept it secret. After 3 years, the body started decaying. And the policemen came to know. And they took this and sent her to a psychiatric hospital for the mental illness. She got addicted to his body. She cannot live. She cannot accept that husband is dead. That is the love. Love is as sick as death. It can never, never, never go away. So Mary Magdalene is a lady like that. She was telling, let me keep the body of Jesus as long as it is possible. And they said unto her, women, why weepest? She said unto them, because they have taken away my Lord. I know not where they have laid him. And when she had thus said, she turned herself back. After speaking, she turned and saw Jesus standing. Wonderful. How it would be to see Jesus. The moment you speak about him, he is there. Standing behind her. I knew not that it was Jesus. He was just putting a mask. He didn't show his real picture. He appeared just like another person. Jesus said unto her, same question again. Women, why weepest thou? Why didn't Jesus tell immediately, I am Jesus? It's like a lover who wants to give always a surprise. He just don't want to say like, I am Jesus. Instead he said, he wanted to listen from her lips, what is the problem? Women, whom thou seekest. Why you are weeping? Whom you are seeking. It is the same person, but he's trying to listen it from you. That is the reason God wants many of the times, even when we love him, he wants us to verbalize and tell him, Jesus, I love you. I love you this day so much. A ದೇವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಯಿಂದ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಆಸೆ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. So many people say it is there in my heart. It is not enough. You need to tell it. You need to shout it. You need to tell Jesus, I love you more than anyone. She is supposing him to be a gardener. To her, Jesus appeared like a gardener person, as a working man in the vineyard. Said unto him, Sir, if thou have borne him hence, tell me where thou hast laid him. If you have taken his body, tell me please where you have laid him. I will take. I will give you money, whatever it is. I will take him away. I will take Jesus away with me. That is my life. That is my passion. He is my life. Once I was a sinner. I was a prostitute. I was devil possessed. Jesus came into my life. Cast out the 7 devils out of me. Made me a beautiful woman. Gave me hope. Accepted me. I was with him. I served him. What a wonderful person. Today he is not there. I want to take him away to my home. Jesus said unto her, Mary. The climax comes. The master calls his people by their own name. That is how we will know God calls us by our name. Mary. The moment she heard the gardener calling the name Mary, she turned herself and said unto him, she didn't even see Jesus. She heard only Mary. The moment she heard the word Mary, somebody calling with all authority, with love, with passion, she turned herself and said, Rabboni, which is to say, Master, Jesus, it is you. I know that it is you. What a wonderful experience. Jesus said, my sheep will hear my voice. They will not listen to the false people, false gods, false prophets, false teachers. They will listen to my voice. They will come and follow me wherever I lead them. So today, if we are the sheep or the sheep of the fold of Jesus Christ, we are going to hear the voice of Jesus when he calls you by name. God always calls people by name. He called Adam, Adam, where are you? He said, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel ran to Eli. And he said this. And he called, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Always he calls twice, and here he calls only once, but he is the one who has complete authority over us. And immediately she found the beloved. What happened? Jesus said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended unto my Father. But go to my brethren and say to them, I ascend to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord and that he had spoken these things unto her. The first person who saw the resurrected Jesus is not Peter, it's not John, it's not Matthew, it's not James or Thomas. It is a lady, Mary Magdalene. Her heart was filled with love. All the disciples, what happened to other disciples? They were shut in a room. They locked the room, fearing Jerusalem, fearing the Sanhedrins, fearing the Sadducees and Pharisees. They said, if they killed Jesus, they are going to kill us. Let us protect our life. And this woman goes boldly early in the morning. It is not lawful for women to go on those days and to ask these things. But she was very, very, very much, her heart was for Jesus Christ. And Jesus gave the first appearance to Mary Magdalene and told her, she became a messenger indeed. She told her, Jesus told, you go and tell all my disciples that I have risen. Why did Jesus say, don't touch me? I'm just getting these thoughts as I'm speaking, because I imagine that the moment Jesus said, Mary, and she said, Rabbani, and she was about to touch, Jesus said, don't touch me. You understand? Do you feel that? When you see somebody whom you have not seen for a long time, when you see your beautiful people, suppose you see your dad or mom or somebody who passed away, and you see them first time, how? You want to hug them. And she went, tried to hug or touch. Jesus said, no. I need to go to my Father and come back, and then you can touch me. Not now. And she controlled her emotions. So these are the 4 ways where we seek God. First, through doubts. We question, where is God? Let me see him. Then I will believe. Second, whenever there is lot of problems, even for believers, we get so many troubles, losses, then we feel like I should meet God and ask why I am going through these problems. Let me fight with him. Let me ask. Let me argue with him. Let me talk and put my case and get the approval from him. Why it is not happening? That is second. Third, when we are in sudden danger, we shout, Jesus, help us. We don't have anybody. Fourth, it is out of love. The best is always seeking out of love, like Mary Magdalene. Not calling him in danger, not calling him doing problems, not calling when we are afraid or doubtful, but seeking him out of love. Having him as our beloved, trying to find him where he is, and he appears. For a moment, he will not appear. It takes a time. It's a love game. It takes a time. Jesus doesn't appear to people the moment they seek. He wants whether they are really seeking him. It can take few months. It can take few years. But if we seek really, we will see Jesus as Mary Magdalene saw. Because we know Jesus is living. May God bless this verse. Let's close our eyes and pray.